Hey everybody, Joe here. Welcome to the channel where occasionally I will be talking about technology topics of interest, hopefully to all of you. So recently there's been a lot of press lately about a relay attack involving these bad guys, Tesla key cards. And the way the attack works is like this. Basically, you can steal a Tesla by getting close enough to the Tesla card in someone's wallet or purse or what have you, and getting close enough to it with a reader, kind of like this, or with a Proxmark or some other NFC device, and relaying that communication from the card over to somebody else who's over by the Tesla with another phone or another Proxmark or a device that will relay the communications between the card and the car. And NFC, of course, relies on close proximity. You can see this reader picking up the card when it gets very, very close to it. And so each one of them believes that they're near each other, and that's kind of part of the authentication, if you will. This must be close to the car because it's able to read it. Well, this relay attack belies that and basically says, well, if the owner with this card is nowhere near the car and therefore can't prevent it from being stolen, we can relay the communications from the card to the reader in the car and simulate that card being right nearby long enough for the authentication to go through and the thief to get in the car. Now, Tesla has been notified about this and has said, well, we don't really consider this to be a problem because Tesla's feature the pin to drive feature, where an owner can enter a PIN code, and that is required to make the car go, to basically allow you to start and drive the car away. The problem there is that not a lot of Tesla owners have enabled that feature, or even know about it perhaps, but probably a lot of them don't have it enabled. And so if somebody were able to get a reader close enough to this card, they could theoretically target you and read that card, relay it to the car, and be able to, at the very least, break in. Now, one of the other issues is that there are other attacks against the pin to drive feature, where once somebody does this relay attack, in theory, they get into the car, they can then use the attack against the pin to drive feature and then drive the car away. But the whole thing hinges on being able to get close enough to this Tesla key card to be able to relay it to the car. So, one of the only really effective ways to prevent this from happening is to shield the card. So NFC is very good, but you can't shield these cards from being read, and a lot of people have made videos on exactly how to do that. And some people will say, well, you know what? Use tinfoil. And does that work? Yeah, actually it does. We can wrap the card in tinfoil, drop it on the reader, and it will not read. Right? And I've wrapped this in tinfoil, but in fact you really don't have to wrap it in tinfoil. You can just put the tinfoil on the card. You can see it's red there, and if I just put the tinfoil on the card, it interrupts the read, no problem. But if that tinfoil comes up even a little bit, the read happens again. So it really has to stay in place, and that can be a little bit of a problem. Plus, of course, tinfoil, not exactly the most robust material, and it's going to tend to crumple up, and you'll be sitting there making those tinfoil cards all the time. So one of the things that I discovered pretty early on was that you could take something, well, similar to this metal hotel card I've got, put it on top of your card or store them together in your wallet or your purse, and you've blocked the signal. It's not going to read, right? And that works very well as long as you keep those cards together. But if somehow you allow them to get separated even a little bit, it's going to read. So that may not be the most effective solution you could do. So these are another potential solution. You can get these really cheap on Amazon. I picked up 28 of them for about $6. And the problem most people have with these is that, number one, it can be a little tough to actually get the card into the sleeve. Of course, once it's in there, it's not reading. These are actually very good at blocking that signal. They're not any kind of a fake product or whatnot. You definitely will not get a read here. But it can be a little bit of a struggle getting it in there, and these extra little bits over here that are kind of holding it together make it very difficult to put this into a slot on a wallet or in a purse or what have you. So a lot of people don't like this particular solution. So in thinking about this problem, I realized that I had a potential solution. I've got a small business, and I have these little cards that I made up, laser etched, and these cards are very thin aluminum. I get them from Amazon, and you get a bunch of them for not a lot of money. And so I was wonder what they would do with this. You know, would they block it similar to my hotel card, which is kind of thick, and of course, you know, can't exactly go buy that. So, as it turns out, works very well. Similar to the tinfoil, similar to the other card. If you have one of them on top of that card, either side, it works great. Of course, again, if it pulls away even a little bit, the card will get red. So, what I decided to do was to take two of those cards and simply tape a hinge on the bottom, giving it a little bit of extra tape. You can kind of see there's a little gap there so that you can actually put this around the card and be able to store it in there. So it kind of folds open. You see that little gap? I can kind of keep the card in here. Definitely is not going to read, right, no matter what you do. And I can slip this in my wallet in that slot because these cards are extraordinarily thin. In fact, you can see they're much thinner than the card itself, so they don't add a whole lot of depth to the card. So it fits in your wallet, fits in your purse in that same slot that you might be keeping the Tesla key card in. And this will absolutely block any NFC reader from reading your Tesla key card. These are very cheap on Amazon. I will post a link in the description. And very simple solution, right? A little bit of Scotch tape or a little bit of packing tape as I've used here. Make a hinge, and it's very simple to get the card in and out when you need it, right? You're done, put it in here. The best part about this is that most Tesla owners use their phone or a key fob to access their car on a daily basis. The key card is only used usually as a backup, right? If their phone's dead or what have you. So having it in here, not a big deal, but if you ever need it, it's very simple to get out, and it's also very simple to get in. And that will absolutely prevent that attack. That's all I have for you today. If you have any questions or comments, please put them below, and thanks for your time.